couple months ago I made a video about Hazbin Hotel, an indie project that started on YouTube and was uploaded 3 years ago. In that video I explained the pilot in a pretty dumb way, which a lot of you seem to like. Well, here we are in the year 2024 and Hazbin Hotel actually released its first season. As I've been writing the script, there's only 4 episodes out right now, so we gotta wait for the rest to come out. So I'm gonna make a video when all the episodes come out so I can cover the full season. I'm fairly confident that there were actual bets on what would come out, Hazbin or GTA 6. Yes, a lot of people lost some money. Well, we can be happy another indie project made it to TV. We have to ask the question if this was actually worth the wait. Without wasting any more time, let's get into it. We should probably go over the plot of the show because pilots don't typically do that. They are just meant to introduce the characters. Hazbin Hotel still takes place in hell, so sorry if you're any Catholics out there. Basically, every year, heaven sends down an extermination army to kill as many people as possible to make sure hell can't rebel against them, which makes hell's version of New Year seem more interesting than seeing a ball drop. One problem during this year's extermination is that one of the demons managed to kill an angel, which causes panic because this has never been done before. Adam, yeah, the first man, Adam, seeing this, decides to make the yearly extermination bi-yearly, so every 6 months they'll be sent down. The hotel managers Charlie and Vaggie are clearly businesswomen and see a chance to capitalize on everyone's distress and decide now is the perfect time to advertise the hotel to rehabilitate sinners to give them a chance to get out. There's probably more subplots and more plots, but you get the basic gist. All the characters in the show pretty much act the same as they did in the pilot, if you've seen it. Angel Dust is kind of the only one that acts a little bit more out of pocket, but that's because we're not on YouTube anymore and you can get away with some more NSFW stuff, which fits the character perfectly, so I'm not complaining. Most of the characters got a redesign from the pilot, whether it's something subtle or a complete overhaul. And I actually prefer these newer designs because they're more detailed. Something that everyone did complain about was the voice actors. Since this started as an indie project, voice actors that are prominent in the indie scene got roles in this, like Elsie Lovelock, Monica Franco, and Edward Bosco, and the one and only Michael Kovac. It doesn't matter what video I make, I cannot get away from it. Because Hazbin was picked up by A24 and Prime Video, they actually had a Hollywood studio behind it, and the original cast couldn't come back to reprise their roles because they don't work in the industry. I'm not saying the new cast is bad, they're clearly giving it their all and having fun with the characters. Amir Talai is a perfect recast for Alistair, sounds almost exactly like Edward Bosco's version of the character. The only thing they really changed was the filter in his voice to make it less intense.
Alistair, pleasure to be meeting you, sweetheart. Quite a pleasure. Excuse my sudden visit, but I saw your fiasco on the picture show, and I just couldn't resist. What a performance!
So, what do you think? Funny, I was going for hilarious. I came here because I love seeing wasteful souls struggle to accomplish something meaningful and fail spectacularly.
Blake Roman is doing his best to mimic Michael Kovac's voice, and I'm not saying he's doing a bad job. In fact, I think he's doing a pretty good impression of the original Angel Dust voice. There's just this subtle difference that you can tell very easily between the two.
Yeah, listen. Keep this discreet, you hear me? I can't let it get out I'm offering my services to randos on the street. It was a quick cash grab. You got it?
Oh, please, baby. This body was made to be exploited. I got the arms, I got the stamina, I got the legs, I got the lung capacity. Oh, I got the legs.
The only character that had a huge change in their voice was Husk. In the pilot, he sounded more aggressive-ish. I don't know really how to describe it.
You thought it would be some kind of big riot just to pull me out of nowhere? You think I'm some kind of clown?
With that voice reference, you can kind of see why they had to change his voice, since this is a musical and everyone's gonna have a part in singing, and Keith David coming in for the new role makes him sound more nonchalant and chill, while still being an asshole, and he fits the role of a bartender pretty well.
That's bullshit. You get drunk and bitch about him all the time. Everyone likes to bitch to the bartender. I know everything about you and these motherfuckers at this point.
Let's start off with things I actually like in the show. Some of the songs in this actually slap, which thank God it does because that's the point of a musical. The duets with Vox and Alistair and with Husk and Angel Dust and that song at the meeting at, I don't know, Dude from Schmerz Evil Incorporated, are pretty good and are probably my favorite. I think Poison is one of the more controversial songs because it goes into these topics, which I can't say on YouTube because I'm going to get smited. The whole idea of the song is to show you how deep in the hole Angel Dust is, and no, I'm not trying to make a joke, but to get that point across, this song actively tries to make you as uncomfortable as possible while watching, showing these two words again and this word. This is why Angel Dust is a pretty compelling character to me. It's clear as day that he really does want to get away from the abuse, and that's why he went to the hotel, so he can not just get a free room, but also so he can get a second shot. Now, I'm not a victim of any of these things and I don't think it's in my right to say whether they've depicted these two things accurately, so we're just gonna leave it as it is and move on to the other topic. It's pretty clear everyone had so much love for this show, putting so much detail into the backgrounds and the characters. Like, if you were to just get a still image, it shows you how phenomenal the visuals are in the show. I also like how they brought back Sir Pentious' airship theme from the pilot, which, as a guy that likes listening to soundtracks from movies and TV shows and games, this made me pretty happy. Now let's get into the things I don't enjoy. Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss are both written by VivziePop herself. Both shows are labeled as comedies, and her writing is basically swearing equals funny, so some of the jokes are very much hit or miss. It's like the one South Park episode where they say shit so many times that the word just loses all meaning. I'd say if a joke is something quick and snappy, like an instant jab at someone or something, that works, but if it's something drawn out and just annoying, obviously it doesn't work. Also, a main problem with Hell of a Boss kind of leaked into the show for going with the more moments of instant gratification than actually building up to something interesting. Like, remember when I said someone managed to kill an angel? Damn, that would have been a really good mystery. Could have had a really good build-up, maybe a plot twist we would have least expect. But no, we find out who did it in episode 3. This random woman that we've never met before, and the only thing that we do know is that she sells weapons. It's worse than Hell of a Boss because that show basically has no plot. It's like the episode where Blitz and Fizzarelli make up after apparently having a terrible past, which I guess is nice. But at the same time, this would have been the second appearance of Fizzarelli in the show, and we don't know jack shit about him. And with zero build up to what is supposed to be an emotional moment, you expect me to care? Kind of a nitpick, but episode 1 is kind of a rocky first episode where it's incredibly slow paced and just not funny. Another thing I noticed is that they kind of expect you to already know these characters, and with that expectations, they kind of expect you to have already watched the pilot. If you're a fan of Hazbin and Helva, obviously you know the ins and outs of these characters, but to the average Joe that are just watching casually, because I don't know, they just see it in their feed, they probably would have not known about this being a YouTube animation, and I feel like they should have spent some more time reintroducing the characters in episode 1, so some of the pacing would be fixed, and so that way you can kind of grasp the newer audience for this show. Anyways, that's what I gotta say about Hazbin Hotel. I say that this was definitely worth the wait for long-term fans of Hazbin, but for the newer people, I kind of see why this wouldn't appeal that much to them, since they aren't used to VivziePop's writing style or art style. Since the full season isn't out yet, I don't want to give my official rating of it, but I think the 7.7 on the IMDb is a pretty fair score. When all the episodes are out, I'll give my full review of the show and give my official rating to see if it holds up from beginning to end. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.